UAB week. What was that like for you? Stetson initially started. You played a lot of that game.
It was a tough week, or I guess not a tough week. Initially, it started as a good week. Initially, I thought I was going to start. I thought I was playing. And by the end of the week, obviously, I didn't play. Or, well, I played a little bit. I don't know. That was tough. It's kind of like a reality check for me, to be honest. I think it was a big turning point in my career because I realized, okay, maybe I'm not, ready, or I'm not, the player that I think I am. And there's a lot of improvement that needs to go. And my mindset really changed after that game. And honestly, that experience, which it sucked in the moment, has kind of made me into who I am now.
What do you think created that initial thought process of, I might not be good enough, maybe not as good as I thought I am, as opposed to what most young men think is, I need to get out of here, I need to go somewhere else, I need to go play. Why did you have that thought?
Like I said, I think it was just a reality check for me. And in the moment, I took just a deep dive and just looked at myself. I think for the beginning years, I was so, what's the word? I don't want to say cocky because I'm not a cocky person, but
naive.
Naive, I guess, to an extent of where I really was as a quarterback. Everybody comes into college, they think, I'm going to start as a freshman. You don't start as a freshman. No, next year I'm going to start, right? And then, like you said, the mind initially wants to go to, I'm getting out of here. But I think if I would have just done that, it would have ultimately made me decline because I never would have realized really where I was at and that, okay, I need to improve in this area, this area, this area. I honestly can't tell you exactly why it went there, but I think that's just kind of how I was raised and built up, that when something goes wrong, look at yourself, see what the problem is, and then fix it from there.
Carson, you talked after spring game about how important the offseason was going to be to develop the chemistry with these receivers. Just how do you feel like that has gone in the player-led workouts?
Yeah, I think it's been going really well. We have so much talent and so much depth that, constantly getting all those reps with different guys. Certain guys run routes, certain speeds, different coming out of cuts. There's so many different things to the quarterback wide receiver connection. So this summertime is, very important as we start to head into fall camp.
How did you find out that Todd Monken was leaving? Go ahead.
He called me and told me whenever he was, and obviously, that was one of his dreams, is to, go be offensive coordinator, go be a head coach again. I don't know that part, but go be offensive coordinator in the NFL. So obviously, I was super happy for him and thankful for
what did you think for you?
What did I think for me? Obviously, it's at the University of Georgia, and I think, my whole time it was Monken as the OC that I've been here. But coaches are always cycling, especially at big universities like this, where you're going to win games, coaches are going to do well, and then they're going to get a better job that they're going to go take. That's just part of it. That's why you always say to these kids in high school is fall in love with the school and not the coach. So obviously I've enjoyed Georgia very much, and I learned a lot from Monken, so I'm super thankful for him. But I knew that Coach Smart would bring somebody in that was going to do the job just as well.
Obviously, practicing against great players had a major role in the next question I'm about to ask. But I'm curious if there was any other reason. You sit for 3 years, no playing time, no real playing time, and then you go out, complete 73% of your balls, throw for almost 4,000 yards. You have a great season last year. What was the major key to developing in the dark during the time that you were sitting in Georgia? Apart from, I play against great players in practice, we get that. What were you doing specifically?
Yeah, I'm going to quote what you just said. Playing against those guys is the ultimate thing. When I was down there on scout team, I was looking at the D-line, and it was Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt. Linebackers were Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean. I could keep going. You guys know all the names, which is ridiculous. I'm down there, I'm 18, 19 years old, and I'm playing against these guys that are first-round talents, and one of them was first overall pick, But that's definitely the biggest thing, I think, to my development. And then, obviously, me, taking it upon myself to get deeper into the playbook, learn the playbook like the back of my hand, know every single play, every single read. When I walk up to the line now, I already know where the ball's going to go before, unless there's a change, if they disguise something, then I pivot that, I react. That's football, react. But before every play, I know where the ball's going to go, based off the coverage, based on the play. So how well can I know the playbook? I think I really dove into that. And then also watching other quarterbacks, NFL quarterbacks, I've kind of spoke on this before, but seeing how they do things, how do they read plays, what route do they like to throw against this coverage? And then it comes down to knowing your personnel as well. There's so many different things to quarterbacks, so, really taking that deep dive and studying the position itself, ultimately elevated me as well.
Do you have a quarterback that you feel like your style fits or is similar to in the NFL?
I don't know. Honestly, I've never really thought
maybe?
I don't know. I've never really thought of it. I've always said that I love to watch Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's like a lot of stuff that he does that everybody can really do. And I don't claim to be anything like Aaron Rodgers as well, just to clarify that. But watching him and seeing what he does is a lot of fun. And I think that my game has gotten better watching him. I think also just going back and watching like Tom Brady and seeing how efficient he is and knowing when to take the check down, knowing when to throw the long ball, just recognizing coverage and how quick he operates and how consistent he is. Watching him is also really fun. And people would say watching him is boring, but for me, he's so intelligent that it's the right play every single time. And I think that's what I try to do is just make sure that I'm making the right play every single time.
You mentioned the first overall pick there when you were talking about Trayvon. Have you allowed yourself to think about that possibility for you? Because that's something that's out there is, kind of the buzz going into the preseason.
Yeah, obviously, it would be something that's super cool. But I think the more that if I ever dove into that and really thought about that, it would just hurt me as a player. So for me, my headspace always stays on the team, always stays on the players. Like I said, every single week, it's all about a win, just 1 week at a time. So right now we're in summer, focus on summer, then fall camp. So the more simple I keep it, usually the better things end up turning out. But obviously that would be super cool.
Carson, you say that, but you're preseason Heisman Trophy favorite. You're a projected number one. You quarterback the number one team in the country. You're the leading returning passer. What's left on the table, and how do you manage? I guess expectations would be the word.
Yeah, honestly, obviously there are expectations from everyone, but my expectations that I hold for myself are higher than any person could ever put on me. I'm my biggest critic, so anything that anybody could ever say would never hurt me because I promise I probably said something worse to myself.
Or Tate Ratledge has, right?
Yes, or that. Yeah, no, he might be a bigger critic of me than I am. Anyways, love that guy. But going back to it, I think the biggest thing is just staying focused on the team and what the ultimate goal is winning that national championship. And then for me, as I focus on the team, usually those good things start to set in place.